Have you ever found yourself hesitating to share the goodness of God? Like how God is working in your life, your testimony, because you believe that it's a rule that you have to be living a certain way to be able to talk about God, right? Or you need to know the Bible inside out to be able to talk about the word. Well, can I help relieve you, free you from all of the things that's stopping you from being that unapologetic God girl that you are? I am being joined with my girl, Shaniah, who is unapologetically a God girl, who's often using her platform to talk about her relationship with God, using her platform to share the gospel. And we're going to talk about what it means to be an unapologetic God girl, how to get rid of any of the pressures that may come up, the worries about what society says, and just unapologetically be you and celebrate your relationship with God and what God is doing in your life. So join us in this conversation. It's going to be a good one, let me tell you. There's going to be laughs. There's going to be a lot of keying. Listen, and we're just going to be enjoying our time talking about God and how great he is and how unapologetic we are as a God girl. Let's go. It's Natasha.
Unapologetic Living.
What is up? Natasha Bryant here, your host of Unapologetic Living with Natasha, and we are here at season 3. And today's conversation is all about unapologetically being a God girl.
Uh-oh.
And yes, I'm excited to have my girl Shaniah here because she is the definition. You want to say, what does an unapologetic God girl look like? That's her right here.
Oh, wow. That's an honor.
Oh, and so the reason why well, first of all, this is family. Shaniah is my girl.
Yeah, you know.
But not only that, but just on your TikTok, I'm always seeing you Bible verses.
Yeah.
You're singing a gospel song.
Yeah.
You're showing clips of getting ready for Sunday. Showing clips of behind the scenes of you working within the media ministry within your church.
Yeah.
Just doing all the things.
All the things. I'm like on every task in the church. Like my name is under everything. I do everything there.
Yeah. Dance, you praise dance.
Yes, I do.
You do. Is it like the news of the announcement news?
The announcements, the news, all the things. News correspondent, whatever you think happens in church, I am one of the people who does it.
Yes, and I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
So when I first was thinking about you and your journey, I just remember when I was in my 20s, I was not there.
Yeah.
When I was 26, that was my best life. I was like,
do your biggest life.
I was living my best life. And it wasn't until I was telling you before we started recording that it wasn't until I've always had a relationship with God. God was always in my life. Grew up in the church. Grew up in the church.
All day long.
All day long.
My goodness.
Everybody was a minister. Dad, mother, everybody's a minister. But I really didn't start actually learning about the word on my own and really actually reading the Bible, finding a version that really speaks to me until I was my mid 30s, early to mid 30s is when I started. And so what helped you get to a place where you're in your 20s, your late 20s, and you are just speaking about God unapologetically, spreading the gospel? So how did you get to that point?
I think honestly just defying the norm. I think it's very normal for a lot of us to live that life, grow up in church, but then at a certain age, you turn 18, you go to college, and you're like, yeah, peace out. I'm doing what I've always wanted to do this entire time. Yeah. Putting Jesus on the back burner. Hopefully he'll save me if there's some really bad trouble in my way.
But pray hard enough.
A little hard, but I think for me it was just something that I became really passionate about.
Yeah.
So I'll say when I was 12, I started praise dance ministry at my church. And that was around the time that I had just got taken out of cheerleading. And my mom was just I got too many kids. Cheerleading's becoming way too expensive. Yeah. And the church is a place where you can do a lot of different things that are, creative for a lot of kids, but for a low cost or no money at all. Right. So I was allowed to dance, and dance, cheer, kind of the same. You know what I mean? So me joining dance was honestly just to replace cheerleading. It wasn't until I really like fully got into dance and realized that dance ministry for them is like completely different than what you would actually think that dance ministry really is. It's not just dancing, it's about ministering, and it's a ministry at that. So I would say definitely that was like the pivotal and like changing point for me, because it's not like I was doing anything crazy at 12 years old. Like, what do you know at 12? But it definitely did help mold and shape me into like who I am now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I remember my sister when she started doing praise dance at a young age, and it really is like this level of, it's just not like woo dancing, it's like full on connecting the word with what you're saying in your body, etc. What would you say, like, because I know when it comes to like speaking about God, whether it's like you're a young adult, whether it's you're an adult, there, especially on social media, right, there is like this worry of like, I don't want to offend anybody, I don't want to be seen as the crazy Christian, right, like this worry about how it's going to be perceived, how you're going to be perceived, how it's going to be received, right? And so how do you navigate that process or those worries? Or does that even come up for you?
To be honest, no. And the only reason why I can say no is because I've been living this life since like that transformation happened for me at 12. So it's like I've already gone through middle school, gone through high school with all my friends knowing that I love Jesus, that I'm gonna be at church on Wednesday night, I'm gonna be there on Saturday morning all day long, and I'm gonna be there all day Sunday. And if y'all would like to come, then come with me. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like those pressures and things probably would have like come up when I was younger, and because I was in church, not caring, my friends understanding, it's not really a thing for me. I love to say that on my social media accounts, that's where impact happens. So it's like I'm not really worried about numbers. I'm more so worried about the impact. So it's like if my video can just touch one person, cool, I did my job. Because at the end of the day, like the Bible does call us to be fisher of men. So it's like if I'm gonna fish, I fed one. That's it. That's all he needed me to do. So it's like I don't know. Just being on social media hasn't really been like, there hasn't really been a worry for me. At least not yet. Maybe there will be somebody that's in my comment section that will start doing some stuff that like will like intimidate me, but I don't know. I don't really feel like it will, because I feel as if everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe. I know people who are Muslim, who are Jews, who everybody like a plethora of things. Those things don't bother me. It's like you're allowed to believe what you believe, and I'm going to believe what I want to believe. And it's like if you cross this threshold, it's like, listen, I'm a God's girl. So it's like don't go too far. Don't do too much. But
I know for me, in my experience, initially, especially within my business, it was like, all right, how do I not, do too much where I might lose customers, or people might, think like, oh, I only service individuals who, are believers, right? And then when you get to the point where you don't care,
because it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Because it's like, why am I going to allow other people to change what I like? And it's like, I wouldn't go to them and be like, I want you to change X, Y, and Z. And I think we've gotten to a place where people forget that, like, if you don't like something, you can just remove yourself. Even scrolling on TikTok, the amount of people who will put hate in someone else's comment section, I just truly cannot understand it. If you don't like it, there's plenty of videos I don't like. You know what I do? Press hold, hide. I don't want to see it again. It's really not that hard. But I think this generation and what we have come to as a people has like created such a big thing of, it's okay for me to hate on you out loud, real raunchy, and in your comment section if I want to. And it's like, Pookie, it never took all that. I'm going to do what I want to do unapologetically, the same way that y'all be running the streets the way y'all like to. And I don't have a problem with it.
Period. Yeah. I remember you were saying that this is something that you often talk with your friends about being able to just talk freely. Like, what are some of the I guess topics or discussions that come up, or pressures that come up when you guys are having these type of conversations?
I think so. Before we turned the camera on, we were talking about how just why am I losing my train of thought? Waiting until later. Waiting until later in life to actually like pursue a life with Christ. And it's like, that's one thing that I think that we can completely mix out. I completely understand that there are different things that, we go through, and there are different things that we never expected. And it might take us and veer us off into different directions. But the main thing that we primarily talk about is like why people think that like okay, we can have fun and do X, Y, Z all while we're young. And then at 30 plus, let's now get serious about it.
Serious about life, about God, about everything.
Yeah, like it doesn't
about job. Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. I've never understood that mindset. And it's funny that you even threw jobs in there, because it's very funny how people will act up, be completely different in their 20s when it comes to like employment, and then it's like you hit 30 and you're like, okay, I have to be serious. No, Pookie, you should have been serious all along. Like you should really think about these things, just because like you only get one life. So it's like you want to live it. And it's like back in the day when we used to say like YOLO, but it's like, no, for real, you only live once. And it's like, it is your first try at living life. So try to do your best at it. And if you fail one time, that's fine. Just pick yourself back up and keep going. So we try to make sure that like, even in our friend group, when we meet other people who are like us and who are, or even just trying to like start that relationship with Christ, it's just understanding like we know you're going to fall. I fall all the time. I'm not a perfect human just because I've been following Christ since I was a kid. Yeah. But just pick yourself back up, try again, and it'll work out.
Yeah. I think it is that there's like this expectation, like if I'm going to talk about being a believer, there needs to be like this perfection.
No.
And I think one thing that really changed my relationship with Christ was recognize the difference between religion and relationship.
Yeah.
That was a game changer, because growing up in the church in the 90s,
a little different than that.
Listen, I mean, all of y'all who grew up in the church, born and raised in the night, y'all know how it
ruffle socks.
Listen, in church from sun up to sundown.
You was eating your breakfast, lunch, and dinner there.
Listen, and
you didn't see home till 8 p.m.
That part. And if you were a female, you could not wear pants. You could. It was like all these rules.
Oh my gosh.
I always tell this one story where I was I was at church that I was at, and I was in a choir, and there was this one song. And they already picked a girl. It was a children's choir, so they already picked a girl to do the solo,
right?
And so we're practicing, and I know the words left and right. It's a song that I hear all the time, like in the car, my mom play it all the time. I would hear it, so I knew it from front to back, right? And so when she was singing, I was just like humming or singing along as they're practicing, and she could not get the words. Like they kept trying to get her to practice, and she just could not remember the words. So because I'm just in the background, like, singing with them, sing along with her. They're like, Natasha, you can sing. And I was like, nah, I'm good in the back. Like, I was just singing along.
I was fine when nobody could see me.
Right. So, and I genuinely was not ready to be anybody's like solo singer, right? Like that was not,
Sasha was like, just let them lip sync.
Yeah, listen.
Let them lip sync.
So I was like, no, I was like, no, I'm okay. Like I was terrified. And then they had the nerve to say, do it for Jesus.
Oh.
Yes. And at that point you feel guilty and you like, all right, no, I can't say no to that, right? Yeah. So like this pressure of like having to sing. So now I'm practicing. I'm like,
like terrified. Meanwhile, before all that, she's having a good old time today.
Singing loud and proud.
Those freshmen and everything.
Listen.
Now she get up front.
I'm like, Lord Jesus, voice trembling, right? And then so that was, choir practice was probably on a Thursday or something, Wednesday. Yeah. Sunday comes, I am petrified, like
shaking in your boots.
I'm like, Lord, I gotta sing today. I gotta sing a solo. And that's when we actually had blizzards. For those who don't know about blizzards, that was back in the day where it actually snowed.
Yeah.
And that Sunday, it snowed so bad, the church roof caved in. And so I didn't have to.
So are you saying, God, Willy won't Sasha, now, I don't think that's
Listen, that's what I always say.
She said, God didn't want y'all to hear me singing.
God knew I wasn't ready.
Oh my God.
But I think I'll just say it was one of those examples of like this pressure of like, putting like, you can't disappoint God, or God's gonna be angry, or you're not gonna say no to God. Like it was like just growing up in that era where even if you didn't want to do it or was scared. It wasn't any like trying to help you work. It was just like this pressure of like, do it for Jesus, right? And if you don't do it for Jesus, then you're not a real Christian, right? Or you're disappointing God, right? And that's what I grew up in. So there was a lot. I didn't realize how much my faith walk was connected to this religious perfectionism, which is why, you know, I'm in my 20s, I'm best line, because it's like, you know, all this pressure to like be this perfect Christian. And then when I realized the difference of a relationship with God, it's like, you know what? That's not even what God wants. As a matter of fact, almost everybody in the Bible is imperfect.
Hello?
And listen.
And that's the reason why we have it. There are so many different stories and parables of how these people were acting. Raunchy murderers, adulterers, prostitutes, fornicators. There are so many people in the Bible who have done so many different things. And it's like, for him to think that he's going to place us here on this earth and that we're going to just be perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely like mind-boggling and insane.
Yes.
And I don't know why we've adapted that mindset for some odd reason.
It's the religious piece.
Like, you know what it is? What it really is, and I might get canceled for this.
It's okay.
But hey, I'm going to say it because at the end of the day, it's true. The people that grow up, the elders of the church, for some reason, hold us with such a high standard, but they didn't even follow the standard themselves.
Can we just pause right there? Let that simmer.
Did y'all hear that?
Let that simmer.
The elders of the church will sit there and put a standard on us that they want us to follow, but they didn't even follow the standard themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that is absolutely disrespectful, if I can say it plainly, just because it's like, y'all once lived a life. Y'all once did what, like, how many elders do we know that have 5 kids without being married first? But y'all worried about Pookie Poo in the back who's having her first kid. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So it's like we allow the opinions of others to be, because really what it is we allowed their sense of perfectionism for Christianity to be placed on us when that was never what God called us to be.
Right. And we're allowing their concept of what being a Christian is become ours instead of us defining our own. Yeah. And I think that's where, you know, when you talk about being an unapologetic God girl, that's where that comes from. Because I know for me, that's what freed me, was when I defined my relationship with God based on what revelations God has given to me when I read the Bible. Now, he's going to give you totally different revelations when you read the Bible. You're going to have a totally different interpretation,
but
because
that's because everybody's on different. Right, exactly. And that's why the Bible says that everybody will get convicted at different moments, which is why you'll have cussing Christians, which is why you'll have Christians that drink. But the thing is like, it's not that God loves them any less because of the things that they do. Everybody has their own sin. We're all struggling with our own different things. And it's like, at the end of the day, we'll all get convicted with the things that are not like him in our own special way. You just have to wait for the time. Right. So it's like judging others for the things that they're doing. I don't really.
Yeah. And it's like what I get convicted for, you might not be convicted for, because it's not something you need to be convicted on.
Hello?
Right? Fuck it. And also, like, the conviction is not a level of shame. It's just God saying, baby girl,
you giving too much of something. This.
Yeah, I want to bring this to your attention because I want you to be aware of how it's impacting my ability to really work in your life, because it's blocking you from connecting with me. Yeah. Right. At the end of the day, like, that's when God is bringing something to our attention that way. He wants us to see, like, this is something that is blocking you from being able to connect to me the way I need for you to connect with me. So, let's pause there because we gotta go to commercial break. As you can see, this conversation, we can go on for hours and hours and hours and hours. But we're gonna pause right here. Make sure you come back, get your snack, popcorn, to the bathroom break. You do not want to miss our conversation as we continue with Shaniah, and we talk about being an unapologetic God girl.
Period.
Are you ready to stop playing small and finally protect your peace and execute consistently? Welcome to Unapologetic Living University, an online coaching hub helping women gain the tools to set boundaries without guilt and execute goals with unshakable confidence. No more people pleasing, no more perfection paralysis, no more waiting for permission. Scan the QR code now and enroll.
morning, and I'm with my girl Shaniah, and before we went off to commercial break, we were talking about this idea of how being this perfect Christian, right? And I think one of the things that stops people from being unapologetic, like an unapologetic God girl, is this idea that in order for me to share the gospel, spread the word, I have to know, I got to be like on a pedestal. I have to be like a preacher, or I have to have training. I have to know the Bible inside and out in order for me to like speak about the word.
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Very hard. It's heavy. That's heavy.
If that's the case, then Pookie, cut me out.
Yes, cut me
I am not an
out.
apologetic God girl. I do not know the Bible from front to back. I cannot recite all of it to you without looking at all of the Bible, because let's be real, I'm going to need majority of the Bible to be able to even do all of that. But I think in order to get to those places is to honestly feed yourself the way that you do everyday life. So it's like, if you watch a lot of TV on a given day-to-day basis, and it's like you have that favorite movie that, you know, you can recite every single word. The only reason why you can recite all the words is because of how many times you've watched it. So if you replace that with, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes of my day every single day reading the word and seeing what God tells me in his word, then you'll be able to start talking like the Bible. You'll be able to start regurgitating some of those things that come out of it. So it's like, you have to give it time. The same way that you listen to music and you can recite all of the lyrics to a song. The Bible is the same way. So it's not that you have to be a preacher, be a pastor, be in training, go to seminary school. Like, you don't need to do any of that. You can still be able to recite the Bible and stuff like that if you just take the time to learn it.
Yeah, so true. I mean, that I'm not even going to front. That was something that I felt like I can't pray with people. I'm not a prayer warrior, right? Or I don't have the, you know, I can't just talk about the word. I don't know the you know, certain verses inside and out. And then when I realized that everybody's assignments of how to share the gospel is their own unique talent, skill set that they just uniquely have. That's all you need, and that's why God created you just for that, right? And so for me, I think one of the insights I had was when I used to serve on my youth ministry at my church. I was just really good at making the Bible simplistic, right? So when
we need people like you.
When I would, you know, explain something, I would just be able, and this is me being a therapist, working with teens, where I just knew how to just like break it down in very simplistic terms or use analogies. I'm a big analogy person because I'm a visual person, like using analogies to make it make sense. I remember someone said, one of the staff members on the team was like, you know, you do a really good job breaking it down and making it simple. And that's when I realized, like, oh, that's my superpower. Like, when you think about like, what is your superpower when it comes to sharing the gospel or just communicating with people? Like that's when you realize that's what God, that's how God is going to be using me. And so you keep it simple like that, you realize I don't need to have this degree in theology to be able to talk about my testimony, especially when you talk about your own testimony. That's all God wants you to do, is just share your own testimony.
He don't even want you to do all that. He just wants you to be yourself. And in being yourself, that ties into having a relationship with him, because everybody's relationship is going to be different. And I think even with you talking about prayer, I think a lot of people think that we have to pray like the Bible or pray like it's Shakespearean times. Pookie, don't nobody got time for any of that. That is hard. And I would be lying to you if I sat here and said like, yeah, I pray like that. It's really just a conversation. The same way that me and Tasha are just sitting here having like communicating with one another. It's the same way. You can literally just be like, Lord, today was hard. Like, I don't know why you allowed me to go through all the things that I went through today, but listen, can we like not do that tomorrow? And like, it's really just that he wants you to be authentically yourself. He doesn't want you to sit here and try to be, he doesn't want me to try and be Tasha. He doesn't want me to try and be my pastor. He wants me to be myself, because he's only created one me.
Yeah. I think when we recognize that talking about the word is very simple. Like, even when we talk about salvation is easy as ABC, right? 1, 2, 3, right? And it's the same when it comes to just like sharing. Like right now, the fact that you and I here are talking about God, we are sharing the gospel. We have not recited not one verse.
Not one.
We have not did any type of in Jesus. Like we
no hooting and hollering.
We didn't know who we're hollering.
No.
Right. And we're just having a conversation about God and our own experience. And that is an example of just spreading the word and spreading the gospel. And that's all that God is asking for. And also, you don't have to like talk about the word directly. You can just be showing somebody some love, just being kind. And that opens the door for someone to say, something about you. What's up? Every time I see you, you're smiling, or when you show up, you always have a positive outlook, or tell me what's up with you. And then before you know, you're like, girl, Scott,
Jesus,
listen,
God is love.
Listen, and then
that's why I am the way I am.
Right, and then next thing you know, the conversation starts, right?
Yeah.
And so I think just keeping it simple is a way to take all the pressure. I think that's one of the things that helps you be unapologetic, is like just get rid of the pressure to like be this perfect Christian and who doesn't make mistakes, who knows everything about the Bible, who can recite it, and who is always on on their game when it comes to the word. It's like, no, I mean, God doesn't even want any of that, because he wants to use your testimony, which is usually a struggle, to help you help somebody else.
Hello? Say that one more time, because it's not always pretty.
No,
every testimony always starts out with some type of struggle that got pretty, but we had to struggle to get there. And that's the way that you're able to relate to other people, because it's like you never know who can relate to the different things that you've gone through or that he's allowed to happen to you. But it's like, he didn't just let it happen to you for it just to sit there. He allowed it to happen to you so that later on you can, when you get yourself ready, when we've gone through the therapy and we can talk about it, now I can talk about it to somebody else and help them get out of the dark season that they were currently in. Because also too, sometimes it's hard to hear God's voice. And it's like, God will send you people that he has on assignment specifically to help heal you in those moments. So it's like, all you got to do is just live. And be open. That's it.
And a lot of times what I've been really making sure I take note of too when I'm in a struggle is, a lot of times it's not even about me. Like, I'm going through the struggle not for me, but for somebody else. Like, God is like, I need for you to go through this because Rachel or Kiana in a few months, you're going to meet them, or you're going to run into them, and they're going to be going through the same thing. And I need for you to take on the assignment to help them work through that. Right. And so sometimes it's not even about you. So I've been learning to, instead of asking like, Lord, why am I going through this? Like, Lord, what is it that you want me to see through this struggle? Like, what is it that you want me to learn? Who are you preparing me for? Right? Like, what test, what is this test for? Right?
Or I'll do one better. Sometimes we don't realize just how powerful our words are. And the Bible does tell us that we have to be careful of what we say, because our words do have power in them. And it can be just as simple as, I need to work on my patience. You said that out loud.
Listen, next thing you know.
Said it out loud. Now here you go. You're driving and then somebody done ticked you off because they cut you off in the middle of traffic. And it's stressing you out. And now you don't have no patience. And you're like, God, I don't understand why all these different situations are happening. Pookie, you said it yesterday.
Listen.
I need help with my patience. Help me work on my patience. And he said, clocked you.
Got you.
I've been waiting for you to say it. I've been trying to help, but you weren't really trying to help me help you. But you said it out of your mouth, and now that's why things are happening, because what did you say? You wanted patience. So now he's got to give you all these different tests until you pass them and you actually start having patience. That's why you got to watch what you say.
Listen, God's a comedian.
He's funny.
Super
I
funny.
think that he actually sits up there and he's like, ha, ha. Watch how this one works.
You think that was a good one? Wait till tomorrow.
Wait till you see what I got up my sleeve for tomorrow. You're gonna hate me for that one.
One of the things we were talking about too is for those who are watching, we are now recording this in February of 2025.
Yes.
The weekend.
That's why we are like all warm and toasty.
Yes. The weekend after the Philadelphia Eagles won the
Go
Super Bowl.
Birds.
And if you didn't know, I live in Philadelphia. And I live in Jersey. So yes, Bird Gang.
Y'all better be Bird Gang in this comment section, at least for this episode. I don't care what y'all do for any other episode. For this one,
yes,
go Bird.
Yes. And so during this time, and honestly, I didn't realize how many Eagles players were God guys. I don't know what guys call themselves. I know we go by God girls. God guys.
God's pals?
Right.
God's bros. God's bros.
Okay, God's bros.
God's
okay.
bros.
But there was a lot of them, and they were talking about, there were so many different clips. One clip was, the question was, why do you love Jesus? And they were just, each one was just talking about their love for Jesus. And then there was another clip that I saw where they were just showing clips of during like press conferences where they were just sharing their own stories about God, right? And I thought it was just so powerful, because it was another example of just a simple conversation of just like, I love Jesus because it is, right? And I just thought it was really powerful. I don't know if you saw any of the clips, but
I did. And I absolutely love the clips that I got to see. Honestly, because I think being able to make the connection of people who you get to watch on your TV screen and like who are like in the media and stuff like that, people who are famous, it's like, wow, you're just like me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I didn't know that, you know, I could play football and love God at the same time. Because some people really do think that way, that they're like, I can't play football and love God. I can't work at a bank and love God. I can't do this and love God. But it's like, you can. And you should. There is no reason why in any part of life that we shouldn't be able to love God. Because at the end of the day, he created all of us. So it's like give back to him what he's given to you. You know what I mean? So I really appreciated the fact that they took those moments and those times to give God thanks simply for where he put them, because they would not be able to do any of that if it wasn't for him.
Right. And it was just showing that, like you're saying, these are just regular old guys, right? I think a lot of times when we hear or we watch clips of someone talking about God, it's always in a church environment or some type of like, you know, Christian event or some type of religious event, right? But it's not, I won't say never, but it's rarely in just like everyday moments, like how you do it within your content, or like the sports where they're just like at a press conference and they're just talking about God, right? Like you don't use on the job. That's on the job. They're at work talking about God, right?
As they should.
A lot of times it was the separation.
Do your biggest one.
Yeah. And so that's why I really love that clip. And I think a takeaway from that is recognize, like you said, like you don't have to be all these things to have not only a relationship with God, but also share that relationship with others. So so as we wrap up, what would you say? How would you define what a unapologetic God girl is to you?
Honestly, I would think I would simply just say taking in all of who you are, realizing your roots and where you come from and why you are the way that you are. Because honestly, like there's a quote that I have in my phone. I think I probably got it from like a Bible plan that I was reading or something like that, but I made it into like a picture that I post on social media. And it literally says, he died for me, so why wouldn't I give him my all? And it's like someone like that, if you could go on Calvary and die for me, take all those lashes on your back, get cussed at and spit on and disrespected by everyone, knowing that after all of this, I'm still going to save you all. Why wouldn't I give my life for you? So it's like when I think of just that simple 2-sentence, 1-sentence, run-on sentence, however way you want to put it, it's like I'm going to do what I can to give everything back to him.
I love that. I think that's a perfect place to stop. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Me
I so
too.
appreciate you coming
Thank you for
on.
having me.
Yeah, and I hope that you have had multiple revelations, been blessed by this conversation, been inspired to boldly step out and be that unapologetic God girl. Make sure you check out past episodes of season 3. Also check out seasons 1 and 2 on the Mogul TV Global Network. Stay tuned for more episodes of Unapologetic Living with Natasha. And until I see you again, make sure you be bold, be safe, and speak life.
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic living.